Guys and dolls. So I'm going to address this video to the Reform voters. I'm going to address this video to Nigel Farage supporters. I want you to think for a wee minute. I want you to stop thinking with your heart and start using your brains just for 5 minutes. Now, can you imagine if your husband was slated on mainstream telly falsely as a woman beater? Could you imagine if your son was slated on mainstream television that he was a woman beater? Could you imagine any of your family being falsely accused of something so horrific just to be used as a means to an end to try and destroy somebody's life and better their own position in politics? Nigel Farage today has came out and accused Tommy Robinson of being a woman beater. These claims are totally unfounded and 110% false. Just to keep it simple, if there was anything like this, anything at all even resembling this, hope not hate, end racism, Nick Lowles would have been all over it like a rash. So please, listen to what I'm going to say to you. I understand you feel hopelessly, helplessly, nowhere to turn to. And you feel that reform is the only hope that you have. And if you don't vote for reform, we're doomed for it. Well, let me explain something to you all. You aren't doomed for it. There was more than one party. And it's only a name, guys. Just like we see with reform, they're just going to be another Tory party. As you can see, like reform, they're going to take Tories. So basically, we're just changing the name of the Conservative Party to the Reform Party. Now, please believe me, we also have UKIP. Now, I understand a lot of you are saying, but UKIP isn't ready. Where do you think the politicians will go that are moving from the Conservatives? Where do you think the politicians will go that are in reform right now? The only reason they are there is because you are there. We, the people, decide what party does what in this country. You all underestimate yourselves so much. It is absolutely heartbreaking. As a unionist, as an Ulster man, and as a father, heartbreaking to see. Now, if you honestly in your heart feel that you can still go forward supporting Nigel Farage after he's done this to a young man who's in prison, who's been taken away from his family over Christmas and New Year, that's in prison for a crime that nobody else has went to prison for. Nobody else has went to prison for this kind of thing. He's in prison for simply showing a video of truth. He exposed the government, he exposed the judicial system, and no matter what the establishment, i.e. Piers Morgan and the rest, try and tell you, please believe me, as a father of an 8-week-old child who's going to be looking back on her father and deciding whether he was the man he says he is or the man that they say I am on paper, please believe me, there does not need to be reform. He has proved himself. You do not behave like this. This is disgraceful. A man is in prison because he showed a video that told the truth. And while that man's in jail, for us, for our children, Nigel Farage takes the opportunity to try and destroy this man's name. Now, never in the history of my country or in any politician, even in Northern Ireland, where the hatred runs deep, the religious divisions are astronomical. I have never seen politicians from either side behave in such a manner. Now, I implore every single one of you, take your membership away from reform and sit tight. This is not the end. We can never be finished because we have the numbers. You've got to understand that where we go, the politicians will go. Whether it's under the banner of UKIP, whether it's under the banner of the ADF, or whether it's under the banner of the FDP. Wherever we go, they will follow. You've got to understand this. Do you honestly think that these politicians are going to go jobless just because we've decided not to go with the party that they've chose? Guys, I've been saying it all along. Nigel Farage is a banker. He is doing all this, and it's proof to who he is. He's a puppet, and this shows you who's pulling the strings. This is coming from the top. This is Nigel Farage playing up for his keepers. The same people that attacked his bank and give him a warning shot over the bows are again prodding him and poking him, and he's sacrificing our Stephen for his own ends. Guys, look with your eyes, see with your ears, believe what you're saying. I know your heart breaks for the country. I know how you all feel, but please believe me, we are not, I mean this, we are not going to lose this battle. It doesn't matter who's at the helm. All that matters is who's on the boat. And we're all in this together. That's all I'm going to say about this. Shame on you, Nigel Farage. Shame on you, Reform. And shortly, I will be looking at Reform voters exactly the way I look at Labour voters, with a very big question mark. How can you still vote for this party? I'm Freedom Dad. God bless every one of you.